Hey everybody, it's Frank again. I'm in my lab and I have a portal out here to the universe. But I got something really exciting to show you that you can do with your ATM setup that you have at your school. Now keep an eye on this. I'm going to go up to this little, to our switch. I'm going to go to what's called Downstream Key 1 and I'll show you a close-up of this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit it and watch what happens. What? You see that? Turn it on, turn it off, turn it on. Okay, so you can, that's called a bug, placing a bug on top of what you're doing. Like it could be your school logo, it could be some other illustration that you want to show, that you can show on your program, and you can call it just by hitting the button, on and off. So I think it's really cool because a lot of schools want to use their little logo as part of their show. So here's one I made called Eagle. Now the tricky part is actually making the file. And I have to use Photoshop to make it because we have to make it a transparent file that we can use in here. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Now maybe you may not be familiar with Photoshop, but maybe somebody at your school is. And it's not real hard to do, but you really kind of know, got to know a little bit. But I'm going to take you through the steps. So first, I am going to go to my switcher and turn off my key. Now I'm going to show you, here is where the on and off switch is. So I turn it off, and you'll see it's off. And I'm going to turn it on, and there it is. So for now, I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to show you, let's go to the mixer here, to our software controller. And again, here's our software control for the ATEM that you all have. So really you need a companion computer with the software on it so you can manipulate and do these different keys. So I'm going to look over here and I want to show you what I got in the media pool. So here I'm in the media pool. I'll show you here. Click on it. So I've got a few pictures already embedded in here. Now, the reason I want to show you why it's important to do what's called a PNG, if I, for instance, use this and use that as a downstream key, well, look, it covers everything. It's obviously too large, right? So you got to make the picture that's going to fit. Also, I had the eagle in there. Let's put the eagle back. And let's put it on. Now, the cool thing about this is the eagle is facing the correct way, right? It's facing in towards the screen. For instance, if I had the eagle here, kind of looks a little bit awkward because he's kind of looking out of the frame and it just looks awkward. So what you're going to have to do, depending on your particular mascot, you're going to have to put it in the right position. For instance, here's one I made, and it's a tiger. So now tiger will work there, right? Because it's facing inward towards the screen. So I like that one. All right, now let's go. I'm going to go off here, turn that off. Okay, so I want to show you how we can create our overlay to the proper size and to remove any backgrounds that it may have. So let me show you. We're going to minimize this. I have some mascots here that it's just really clip art. I just picked it off the internet, so nothing fancy. But I want to show you what I'm talking about. If I had, let's say I picked this pirate, and it's a JPEG. So you can see what happens is it has all this white around it, right? That's not going to look nice when I we superimpose it and have it over in the corner or down here. So we want to remove the white. So I'm going to show you how we do that. It's not that complicated, but you will need Photoshop. So I hope someone in your school knows Photoshop or can help you with it because it's really simple. I'm going to show you how to do it. So first I'm going to go and I have Photoshop open. So I'm going to open it up. This is Photoshop 2020. So this is what we're going to be using. So I'm going to go to open and I'm going to find my pirate again. Okay, here he is, and it's a JPEG. I don't know if you can see this or not. but it's a JPEG pirate. So I'm going to click on that and open. And then here he is in Photoshop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the white. Very simple. I'm going to go down here to the layer and unlock it. So I click unlock. Once I do that, I go to properties. And if you look down at properties, there's quick action. Right here, quick action. So it says remove background. So I'll click, remove the background. Now Photoshop's going to do its thing. So there it is. Now it looks much better. It's very even around here. There's no white showing anywhere. This will really pop when we do a downstream key with it. So I want to save it. I'm going to go File, Save As. I'm going to save it to my computer, and I'm going to save it not as Photoshop, but I'll click on here where it says Save as File Type. Right here where it says that. Look for that. We're going to save it as a PNG file. Let's click on PNG. Now I'm going to give it a different name so I don't confuse the other one. I'm going to put it pirate, no background. And you can name it whatever you want. But, so that's what I'm going to say. Okay, so it's a PNG. I said save. File size, yes. Okay, once it was saved, now what I have to do is I have to create the proper format for our video. And this is not it. So all we have to do now, we're going to go File. I'm going to close that one. I'm going to File, Close. Yes, close it. Save changes. I already did. Now I come back to Photoshop, and what I'm going to do is click on Create New. But I'm not going to use this size here. I have to go over here that says Film and Video. Right there, Film and Video. Click on that. Now I have the film size, 1080 by 1920, which is 16 by 9. But now the other important thing you got to make sure you do this. Look over here where it says Background Contents. Click on the drop down. You're going to go to Transparent, and then you're going to say Create. Well, now that we have the proper aspect ratio, 16 by 9, which is the television size, we have to put our image on top of this. So I'm going to minimize this a little bit, and I'm going to go find my pirate. Now remember I named it Pirate No Background, so because I had a bunch of pirates. Make sure you get the right one, whatever you named it. Click and drag it over here. Now I'm going to go back, open this up, and here's the part where you have to keep in mind that this is the television screen. Well, that's the size. That's too big. It's going to cover things over. So the first thing you're going to do is resize it. So you're going to go into a corner and go up here, and you're going to figure out about where it should be, and you could adjust it at another time if it's too small, too big. But for now, that's it. So now I'm going to click on the Move tool. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to bring it up here in the corner. So once I size it and move the pirate in the position I want, I'm going to do File, Save As on my computer, and I want to put it in the same file, School Mascot. I'm going to call it Pirate, Upper Left. So I can make sure I got the right one. Now I'm going to click on where it says the file type and go down to PNG again. Where's it at? There. PNG and save. Okay, good. Now what you'll do is, from this point, is you'll grab it, bring it down, and place it where you want. And now we'll do the same thing. File, Save As, on the computer, on the mascot, and it's going to be Pirate. Lower left. And it's going to be a PNG. PNG. Save. Yeah, I already had one that name. Okay. So, and then you'll do the same thing over here. You'll do lower right, upper right, and that's how you'll create. You're going to do like 4, or you may not need to. You may say, no, I only want to put it there, or I only want to put it here. So you only need to do 1. So let's go here. I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to go back to our ATEM software. Now I'm going to look. Upper left. Let's try it. There it is. Pirate upper left. Okay, perfect. There it is. So now I'm going to pull this up. And remember, when I'm going to change it, all you do is you put it in the media player 2 is where I have it set. And then let's go back. Switcher. Remember, here's our downstream key. And let's go on air. And there's Mr. Pirate. How about that? Now, I'm going to show you something. So you go back to media and say, well, no, I want it on the lower left. So all you do is you grab it and drag it, and boom, and there it is. So that's how you move it around, and that's how you size it, which is kind of important because you don't want it too big in the event like you thought, well, here's a logo here. And say, oh, I just want the logo. I did the background, but look what happens. It covers everything. So you got to make sure that you did it properly and you sized it. Use the right aspect ratio, and then there you go. So let's go back here. You turn it on, you can turn it off. You know, on the air, there it is, on the air. Okay, now I want to show you the settings that we're going to be talking about, because remember, we're going to be using what's called the downstream key, and this is the downstream key. There's 2 of them. Here's downstream key 1. That's the one we're going to be using, and that's the one that is here on the actual ATEM. So let's go back. So downstream key 1. Now what you're going to have to do, because we're going to be using the downstream key, we have to get a fill source. Now if I look in my media player has an eagle in 1, and then my little bug, which is also an eagle, in 2. So I want to use 2. That's what I'm going to superimpose over the screen. So I go back to here. So I'm say, okay, well, it's on media player 1. I don't want that. I'm going to click on here. And I'm going to go media player 2. And then the key source is also media player 2 key. That's the setting that we need. That way, when we go back and we do the downstream key, there's our little bug. There's a little bug on. Okay, so that's it, on and off there, on, off. Okay, now also on the actual device itself, the ATEM, the key, downstream key is right here, and that would bring it on and off also. Okay, back to the software, and you could use the auto, which will be a dissolve, or if you choose some other type of transition, and off. Okay, okay, I'm back in my universe here. So hopefully that wasn't too complicated, and maybe you might say, oh, I don't want to be bothered with it, and I understand. But it really is a nice feature to have for your show. You know, and again, over here on the little switch, it's just a matter of turning it on and off. So it looks pretty cool, I think. On, off. So give it a try, and if you need help, let me know, and we'll do it together. All right, well, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.